Let's have some fun with LFOs. MFM2 has 4 of them, and they can be routed to modulate most parameters that have a knob. Of course, LFOs can also modulate each other's speed, and that's what we're going to do next. Let's start by initializing a new patch by right-clicking the data display and selecting Init. Let's turn up the wet level. Next, turn down the volume of delay lines 3 and 4, as we'll only be using the first 2 delays. I'll set the time base to 1/8 for delay 1 and 1/16 for delay 2. For better orientation, let's start with both delays panned hard left and hard right. Both filters are patched in the feedback path by default. We'll change that and place them behind the output of the delay lines. Decreasing the cutoff and increasing the resonance will add some color to the delays. But wait, those cutoff frequency knobs can also be modulated. For that, click the selector below the knob and choose a modulation source, like LFO1. As soon as you've established the modulation routing, the LFO will show signs of life. We're not hearing any effect so far, as we haven't turned up the modulation amount yet. To do that, left-click on the little grey dot which has appeared next to the cutoff knob. Drag it up or down to add modulation, positive or negative. As you can hear, the resonant low-pass filter in delay 1 on the left is now receiving some LFO modulation. Let's slow it down. Let's do the same with delay 2, with the only difference being that we'll add a negative modulation amount. Now, both delays have the same LFO modulating their cutoff, but with opposite phases. Let's use a second LFO to modulate the pan position of both delays. Double-click the pan knob to reset it to center. Next, click below the knob and pick LFO2 for the modulation source. Change the LFO2 waveform to triangle. Turn the modulation amount all the way up. Same thing with delay 2. But this time, add negative modulation by turning it all the way down. LFO2 now modulates the panorama of delay 1 and delay 2, but with opposite phases. Turn down the rate of LFO2. As the result is a bit chaotic, I'd like to add a little more structure. Let's begin by setting restart to the LFOs differently. Each bar for LFO1 and 4 bars for LFO2. And now, let's cross-modulate those LFOs. This means that we modulate the rate of LFO1 with LFO2. And likewise, we modulate the rate of LFO2 with LFO1. The result is a rhythmic pattern that repeats every 4 bars. And now, for the icing on the cake, I'd like to add an effect. For FX1 plus 2, pick the diffuser. Turn the size down. Open the modulation matrix by clicking on its tab and choose LFO1 for the source. Click on the target selector and drag the red crosshair to the diffusion knob in the effects section and release the mouse button to establish the connection. Turn the modulation depth all the way up. Now add LFO2 in matrix slot 2 and hook it up with the diffuser size parameter. But this time, set a negative modulation amount. Try other LFO speeds. Other waveforms. Tweak the master feedback knob to taste. Enjoy, and don't miss our other MFM2 tutorials. Bye for now.